Now everybody, this is your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report.
Again, those at the very top get the biggest breaks. And what do we have to show for it? Even our Republican friends are now beginning to admit there's no evidence these tax cuts are being put to work in the economy.
We have some breaking news from Congress, everybody. The Democrats in Congress want to pass a bill that will lower Medicare eligibility age to 60 years old and add better benefits. And jobless claims are continuing to increase all across the country. In fact, the US Labor Department just reported that initial jobless claims unexpectedly rose last week despite an ongoing recovery in the US employment market. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. This is your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report. Now we have a ton of news to cover in today's video, so be sure to stay until the end and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So as I said, everybody, the US Labor Department reported that initial jobless claims rose last week despite the ongoing recovery. First-time filings for unemployment insurance for the week ending on June 12th totaled 412,000. That is compared with the previous weeks of 375,000. Last week was the highest number since May 15th. An economist surveyed by Dow Jones had been expecting 360,000 new claims for last week. All of the increase essentially came from two states, everybody. The state of Pennsylvania saw a gain of 21,590, while California rose by around 15,000. Now the surprise rise in claims follows a series of steps towards normalcy in the payrolls picture. A year ago, folks, the nation was seeing close to 1.5 million new claims every single week amid continued government-imposed business shutdowns aimed at containing the crisis. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell noted the difficulties in getting workers back to finding the record 9.3 million available jobs. Powell said at a news conference, factors related to the crisis, such as caregiving, ongoing fears, and unemployment insurance payments, appear to be weighing on employment growth. Everybody, what do you believe is causing a rise in jobless claims? Is it the unemployment benefits? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Now, Democrats are eyeing a $6 trillion infrastructure investment plan that goes far beyond roads and bridges to include core party priorities, from lowering the Medicare eligibility age to 60 and adding dental, vision, and hearing benefits, to incorporating a long-running effort to provide legal status for certain immigrants. The Senate is preparing a draft budget document alongside one in the House that puts a new focus on President Joe Biden's big legislative proposal and shows the scope of what Democrats would hope to accomplish with a go-at-it-alone approach, separate from any possible bipartisan deal. Back from his trip, Biden is re-engaging with Congress as the administration and its allies on Capitol Hill embark on a two-pronged strategy, reviewing a nearly $1 trillion plan from a group of 21 senators, including 11 Republicans, while pursuing their own priorities in a more substantial package. According to Senate Budget Committee Chairman Bernie Sanders, Senate Democrats want to expand Medicare and lower the cost of prescriptions. Bernie revealed the plan on Thursday, saying the proposal is meant to build on President Biden's American Jobs Plan and American Families Plan. And when asked if Democrats were considering reconciliation, a process that would avoid having to persuade any Republicans to back the measure in order to force the changes, Senator Sanders told reporters, "Absolutely. The president has given us a framework. I think it's a comprehensive and serious framework. It is the function of the Congress now to take that framework and go with it. I think it's absolutely imperative that we deal with the existential threat of climate change, that we lower the cost of prescription drugs, that will make sure elderly people can chew their food because we expand Medicare to dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses." Bernie Sanders, everybody, does want to help out our seniors, and he also wants to increase the Social Security benefits. It is a promise that he's been saying for a long time. Now, Sanders will not disclose exact details. He indicated that the size and scope is needed to address the crisis that is facing working families, to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, to deal with climate change, to deal with the needs of children and parents, to deal with the affordable housing crisis. Sanders stated the goal is also to ensure that the wealthiest people and the largest companies start paying their fair share of taxes. Everybody, I'm happy to hear that lawmakers are working on Medicare. According to Yahoo Finance, there's a crisis brewing in the healthcare industry. Medicare's Hospital Insurance Trust Fund, which pays for services like hospital visits and nursing home facilities, is expected to be depleted by 2026, and that's just 5 years from now. What are your thoughts on this, everybody? Should Democrats and Republicans agree to send out more stimulus relief? And should they help out the American people, especially our seniors, by increasing the Social Security benefits? Tell me your thoughts on this, folks, in the comments below.
Here's CNBC's Kate Rogers.
Good working.
If you're looking to eat at one of West Stepp's 2 restaurants in Duck, North Carolina, you might be out of luck. The chef and owner of NC Coast and Red Sky Cafe says he's seeing business come roaring back, but isn't able to staff properly to stay open as often as he'd like, closing for lunch one day at NC Coast and sometimes down 2 days at the cafe.
The people are here, the demand is here. The labor crunch is just what's keeping us from being able to maximize the level of service. We're doing everything we can to be open 7 days a week in both operations, but we can only do so much.
He needs as many as 10 workers to reach full capacity, and closing down can mean gross revenue losses of as much as $15,000 a day.
It affects our sustainability through the colder months and the winter months when we don't have the visitors down here.
Stepp is hardly alone. From retail to restaurants and likely your favorite summer stops, there's a labor crunch going on. The National Federation of Independent Business says a record high 48% of owners have open positions. Labor experts say workers have both power and options to look for higher paying and flexible job opportunities post-pandemic.
As the country emerges from the pandemic, it's the right time for employers to invest in their workforces. Corporate profits and consumer demand surging, there isn't a really good reason for employers not to do that.
BJ Bauman is also feeling the crunch at her Virginia Beach restaurant, closed now Mondays and Tuesdays with 60% of staff needed. If she can't open fully, Bauman could be out $100,000 in missed revenue by season's end. The restaurant has been missing workers from overseas due to J-1 visa issues that began pre-pandemic, coupled with today's shortage.
Right now, we are not getting the J-1 visas, but in addition to that, you have a shortage in the regular employment world, and it is hurting. It's critical.
And on the topic of raising worker pay, both Stepp and Bauman have raised wages. They've also offered things like sign-on bonuses or more flexible schedules, as have many others.
In the whole of government response across federal, state, tribal, and local governments. Together, we build an unparalleled vaccination program and manage one of the biggest and most complicated logistical challenges in American history. And above all, we got here because of the American people, stepping up and getting vaccinated, helping family, friends, neighbors get vaccinated. And just remember what the situation was like 150 days ago. We didn't have enough vaccine supply for all Americans. We didn't have the vaccine infrastructure, or the people to administer the vaccines, or the places where the people could get vaccinated. But we turned it around together by acting quickly and aggressively and equitably. We secured enough vaccine supply for every American. And as I announced last week during my visit to Europe, we are now in a position to provide more than 500 million